Welcome back. Divorce is a traumatic experience wherever you live, but in a society like Yemen, women who have been through the experience face added difficulties in picking up their lives.
I've come back to Aden to find out if divorce for women is any easier since my mother's divorce in the mid-70s. I've talked to a friend of my mother's and some young people at a local radio station. Now it's time to meet some women going through divorce in Aden today. I wanted to find out where decisions for divorce were made, so I took a trip to Aden's courthouse.
We're just on our way to have a look at one of the oldest courts in Aden. Really excited because that's where a lot of the girls, have their trials. We're not officially supposed to be there, so it's going to be touch and go, but I hope we get in.
It may seem silly asking permission to go to a courthouse, but it's because Yemen's general elections are on. Everyone's really nervous about us filming, and we have to be careful.
Okay, we're getting back to the front of the queue.
I've been told I have to ask permission from the head of court before we start filming.
Thank you very much.
Permission to film is granted, but we're not allowed to interview anyone and are given a soldier to escort us around.
This is where, when a lady comes and says she wants to raise a case against her husband, she should come here and drop off her paperwork and her file. It's pretty much depressing. We're just on our way now to see the courtroom where a lot of the divorce cases end up, so it should be really interesting. Oh, okay. Oh my God, I hope I'm not on trial. The girls that we met that get divorced would have their trials in this room.
I sit down with Anmar in the courthouse to find out if she feels hopeful about the future.
I'm just getting eyeballed by really mean-looking green soldier men, but never mind. I know I was saying she really hopes that the future improves for divorced women. It has to, in her opinion, and hopefully more lawyers like her who will try and address the problem at its root, trying to educate people and make them aware of the problems that do occur when women get divorced who have no support and are vulnerable.
The courthouse was very intimidating and scary. It just seemed to make everything more difficult for these women.
I'm just arriving at a place which is a bit like a citizen's advice bureau. Anwar, the lawyer that we met today at the radio station, volunteers here, and lots of divorced women come and get some advice from her. So, Anwar, كيف حالك? السلام عليكم. بتوريني المكان. She's just finished. Thanks. أهلا كيف حالك؟ الله يسلمك.
The foundation uses an open door policy and it helps women and juveniles with all sorts of problems. Many divorcees come here for advice, support, and sometimes just a friendly chat.
Ramila here, who's a colleague of Anmar's volunteers as well, she's just been speaking to Rasha. It's got a really moving story. Basically, Rasha was married in Aden for about 6 years, and she went to Dubai with her husband, and then he told her to come back to Aden so he could save a bit more money in Dubai and she could work in Aden. And then he never came back. She's been left here for the last 2 years, and a year ago he sent her a letter of divorce, and now she's come to the foundation, try and get some rights to basically try and get some of her money and some of her possessions that she left in Dubai.
Rasha, who's a hairdresser, didn't want to talk to me at the foundation, but she did agree to meet up with me later and talk through the problems and challenges facing a divorced woman in Yemen today.
So Rasha was just saying to me that she has to be extra careful as a divorced woman. People regard women that are divorced with a stigma. There's a definite stigma attached to it. I think what she was just saying to me, I'll give you an example. I wanted to go and meet Rasha at her house and get my hair done there, but because the driver, my driver is a man, she didn't want to be seen with a man outside in a car, outside her house, because the neighbours might say something. So it's a real shame. I think what she was saying is she constantly feels that she's being held back and not being able to kind of improve and develop and move forward. Yeah, she's just said that she feels that there's always a war. She's always been fought against. صعب صعب صح احنا بعدنا ايجار البيت وهذا وعندك طفل ما حد يساعدك، الحكومه ما تساعدكش ولا حاجه. صعب طبعا بس ليش؟ just asked Rasha if she thinks she's going to get married again, and she said no, she never wants to. She's had enough, which I think is really sad, because actually my mum never remarried, and it's a bit of a sore point for me. I think you should, Rasha.
Meeting Rasha made me think about my own life and how different our lives would have been had my mother stayed in Aden as a divorced woman. I meet up with my aunt Saoud again at the university where she lectures on gender issues. I tell her about